What's going on? How's everybody doing? Yo, 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 yo. My friends, my peoples. It is good to see everybody. Man, how has everybody been? It is a pleasure to be back in the Xander Zone with you degenerate gamblers. But here we are, ready to get at it again. Who do we got in here? Where are y'all coming in from? Robbie Mack in the house. What's up? How are you? Good, good, good. Pascal, what's up? I hear you, Rob. I'm the same manner. Good, good, good. Ottawa, Georges, how are you? Sweet. Well, guys, pleasure. Let me know. Like, has anybody been trading this week? What are you guys trading? Let's get into what we got to do, because the market has actually been holding up, which is just the first time this has been back-to-back weeks we've had this where the market hasn't just tanked in a while, right? Last week, the market was really shaping up, and it looked like we were hitting a short-term bottom. But the thing with short-term bottoms is we don't necessarily know if they're going to stick, right? You need a secondary week, a secondary push. So now we're coming in on week 2, and we're still holding, not just holding, but it's looking like, you know, we're about to run again. But even more important than that, which I think has really helped this past week, is that we are starting to see spec money, speculative money come into the market, which is a huge, huge sign. Spec money is usually what comes in last because it's the most speculative. What I mean by most speculative is those deep and dirty, ugly coins that are in their 15, 20, 30, 40 cents, $1, $2, right? I'm talking about the non-Ethereums and Bitcoins, right? The ones that are out of those top 10s. And we're starting to see it. We talked last week about Batcoin, BAT. That thing's up about 100%. XLM is up about 100% in the last week. You know, even the Rippler is up 50% off its lows. That thing never moves, but slowly but surely it's moving. EOS, another one that looks great. Even right now, it looks like it's going to go. So we've got tons of positive things going on in the market. So let's get out some charts and let's go and do what it is that we do and get this party moving. So let me get out my good old charts over here. Bear with me for 1 second. Good, 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 good. All right, let's get this thing going. Cool. Brian, what's going on? All right, so let's get into this. For those of you guys that are not using the Brave browser, that's your Batcoin browser. This thing's actually really fast. I've been using it to do, you know, ad blockers and privacy stuff, because when I'm trading coins, you know, I don't want anybody creeping in on my stuff. So it's just another layer of security. And the thing is lightning fast. You can see it's just really fast. So I've been trading the coin. So I'm like, man, since I'm trading the damn coin, I might as well use the browser. So let's take a look at old grandma here. Grandma is your Bitcoin, right? So let's take a look at the daily chart of these bad boys, and let's kind of game plan what's going on. So, you know, last week out of nowhere, right, it looked like Bitcoin was just kind of holding here, but it could have broke down. We got that just big short squeeze that came out over here. Now, usually when that happens, you know, and you get a few days run, what we started to see is a rollover right after that. So now after that big push, we've had a few days of follow through. And then look what happened this time. Like, we dipped a little bit, but we just held at the 9 EMA. And then now we're holding again. See, last few times we've run, like we started to dip and we'd pull back like to the 9, and then we couldn't hold. And so that ends up being just, that's a really positive sign to me that we're holding this level. So now the key is going to be, right, if we break over this previous high right here, what happens now, you're going to break over your moving average, of course, but, you know, even more important than that, you're going to now make a higher high, which is really important when you're talking about trading. How trends start is, you know, when you make a high, right, and then you make a higher high. And so now what we're starting to see, if we can break this level, is a higher high. And man, if we could do that, guys, we're really going to get, you know, we're really going to get froggy with this thing. And this is how it goes. Like once this thing starts to run and we get a series of higher highs and higher lows, you know, people might come in and start thinking, fuck, this is the bottom. And if you start getting people start chasing into this thing, well, it's lights out for us at that point. Then we've got a lot of upside here. So mark this level here about 84.73. That's going to be huge. You know, if you look at more like an hourly chart, if you look at more at like an hourly chart, you can see, right, it's kind of right that level right there. In some way, you could almost say it looks also like a head and shoulders. Not necessarily unless it broke under this level here. So, you know, if we take out those 8400s, then ooh, whoa, some gas in that burner right there, wasn't there? Hot damn. Right, so we hold this, we're good, but we really got to come out of this to make that higher high. And if we can, then now we've got really the opportunity to start getting this thing going. So one of the things also with Bitcoin, a lot of times people aren't interested in necessarily trading Bitcoin, you know, because it's so expensive, but it doesn't necessarily matter. You know, what's happening is where Bitcoin goes, the market goes, right? And we just don't have that decoupling yet in Bitcoin. And so where Bitcoin goes, the market goes. We've got to be really just mindful. Like if this thing starts to break out here, it's also going to take out the resistance at our 50 SMA, and that's going to be huge. So one of the things that I judge when I look at trends, guys, when the market is under the 50 SMA, even in the stock market, I usually I don't like to do overnight longs because I find that, you know, you get spikes down randomly. But once you break and hold over there, you know, for me, that's a good sign that on an intermediate now and a short-term level, we're starting to get some traction. So that'll be something to keep an eye on over the next, so on and so forth. Now, Ethereum seems to have been moving a little bit better than Bitcoin. It's a little bit more clean, but you can see you came out of these lows at 360, right? And the first thing we were looking for was that close over the 9 EMA. We got that. Now we're breaking over more and more resistance levels. And what you can see here is this 500 is like a rock, man. It's hard as a rock, right? Look at this thing. So if you look at the hourly, every couple times it's spiked down and it looks like, oh shit, the run is over. And I've said that myself a couple times. Like when this thing hit 540 and it just spiked down, I was like, oh man, here we go. The bear market is back, right? It's like, damn it, we can't even have fun for a couple days. And it got bought up and it held and spiked back to 520. Then it spiked back to 500 and it was like, oh man, here we go. Like the bear market is back. But here it is again. Like we're holding that 500. So to me, as long as 500 holds, guys, remember this, as long as 500 holds, all these little dips in Ethereum to this level breaks is a buy to me. So all the little breaks in Ethereum is a buy to me as long as 500 holds. So that's going to be something just to kind of keep an eyeball on, you know, when you're looking at this thing. So I would keep an eye on that one. Let's go look at some of these other coins. I've got another one. So my third favorite, my third go-to that I always go to after Ethereum is Neo. So this one's looking really juicy. So we had, first of all, nice trend off 44, right? We got that close over the 9 EMA that told us that, you know, the bottom might be in. But now we've been sideways basing out for the last couple of days. You can see here, look at this 65. It's hard as a rock, right? Hard as a 15-year-old's boner. Look at this thing holding right over here. So now we've got a nice kind of level holding here. And then we also have moving average support. And so we built ourselves just a little box over here. And now, like we've got just, if we can come out of this range, we're going to be really, 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 really going. So we need to come right out of this range right here. And if we can do that, now we're ready to get this thing going. So we're right at that sweet spot. Right at that sweet spot. If it can close over this 50 SMA, this thing's off to the races. I mean, I'm currently looking to get into this thing again. We had a sick run in this. We hit this thing at 51, and we sold this thing in the mid-60s, but now it's back. Now it's back. And I sold mine. I got to get a piece of this. So, you know, when you're looking at this thing, first start on the larger term time frame, you can see these kind of dips towards the mid-60s are getting bought. But this one's starting to clear resistance. Unlike, you know, Ethereum and Bitcoin, which have not broke their previous highs. See that? They haven't broke their previous highs. We need them to. What NEO has done has taken out that old high. Yeah, right there, bad boy. So that's going to be, we've already taken this out. So now, like when you're already broken resistance like that, what you want to do is get on your 15-minute chart and really, really start looking for momentum patterns that you could potentially trade, you know, to get into this bad boy. This thing looks hot to trot. OMG is another one that's just got tons of momentum here. This one looks like it's bottom. You know, you can see it came out of that $10 range break, and we're actually starting to flag out here. As soon as this 9 EMA curls up under it, so give it like another day or two, this one could very well start to get cooking again. You can see like you kind of right at a trend line resistance here. But on the other side, we're starting to flag out here. So as this thing builds out over the next coming days, right, let this 9 EMA keep catching up. It's going to kind of move in like that. Then we'll have our trend line coming up on top like that. And so you got 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, right? You got 3-4 days. If it could just coagulate for a couple days, is that the right word? Coagulate? I feel like it's dirty, but if this thing can marinate, coagulate, then we're going to start to get this thing going. And as long as we break this trend line over here, 1540, I think we're ready to go and get this thing going. So this is at the top of the list because this would be a long-term downtrend break also. And man, this thing is a nice mover. When this thing goes, it can move 20, 30% in a day. And that's what we're really looking for, right? You know, we're looking to get this thing really, really moving to the upside. Out of the small caps, you know, this one's been my favorite. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks, but finally we had that power candle on the bat coin. You can see this is a long-term bottoming pattern. You know, I got about almost 100,000 shares. I tried to take this thing up to 500,000 shares at one point, but I couldn't get fucking filled on all of them. It was moving too slow. And dude, this thing has got some juice. I'd be watching this one on all dips towards this 9 EMA. All dips towards this 9 EMA. This thing looks like it's got some juice. This thing looks like it's got some juice. I like this one a lot out of the pennies. Bitcoin Cash. So this is another one. So they all right now are looking decent, right? You know, looking decent. But this one, if it breaks over this, so we took a day trade in this today. You know, we hit this thing on the breakout at like 840 for a quick day trade. I only held this thing for less than an hour. You know, we added it on the breakout, and then it was like sell some, and I had to sell into this resistance here. But if this thing can break back over this thing, it's going to look, and you can see this thing starting to flag out as it is right now. So any type of kind of dip and rip, I want to, this is what happens if you chase this thing too high. See how you get the dip and rip? We call that a shake and bake. This one, same type of deal. Let this thing really marinate, and we're going to get this thing going. I like this one overall. It's just got to get over there. So, like, this is how flag patterns work intraday. I can't buy this flag pattern here yet till it starts to break over here, and then you've got this thing really, really going. I like this one too. Quantum. This one's got awesome momentum. So if you guys aren't on Binance, you know, one of the good things about Binance is they got some of these other kind of random coins like this. But this one is one of my favorite day traders. You know, it's got a crazy range. So it bottomed out here right around 1340. And now this thing is flagging out for another run. I like this one a lot overall. This one's got a lot of good juice too. Dun, 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 dun. Now this one looks like it's got all sorts of. So 88 just got listed on Binance too, and this one also has got crazy. It looks like it could really bust loose. So it's starting to flag out. Let its 90 EMA catch up for a couple days. And if that one breaks that trend line, I think you're going to get this thing going. EOS. So out of all of these, this is probably one of my favorite traders. I trade this on Kraken. You know, a lot of times I show the Bitfinex prices because that's just where the volume's at on some of these. But like this one's got amazing momentum. Amazing momentum. So this one, like if it breaks out right here, so if you're looking over here, boom, like check out its kind of hourly chart. This one's ready to go. So if this thing kind of rips that 910, guys, I think this one's going to have all sorts of fun and games over there. So this is one of my favorites. The other thing about this one is going to be, with this one, you've got tons of momentum. It has the ability to move 30, 40% in a day. And that's what I like. Like, right, we want to be in the coins that have really the ability to make moves. So I like that one a lot. This XLM is bottom. Man, my man Brian Stiesma has been asking me about this like 100 times, and we still missed it. He caught it, though, but I missed it. This thing is, you know, let this thing pull back. This thing's already gone too far. But overall, it's got a good look to it, too. It's a bottoming pattern for sure. I think XMR is a little bit more muddled. It moves really well, but it's a little bit more muddled on the chart. I think there's some hotter plays out there. Now we got the LTC. This is another one that's like, it's moving real slow off that bottom. I mean, it looks okay. Like you might get this thing about 150 or so before you run into a couple levels of resistance. It's moving a little bit more slow than some of the other ones. But, you know, overall, they all have a similar look. You know, it's more about finding which ones are going to have the cleanest charts and then the most explosion. So, you know, and the rest of these I just kind of follow are kind of little penny coins and stuff like that. I know everybody's always obsessed with the Ripple. Let me bring up the Ripple here real quick. So the Ripple also kind of has that same look, right? No different than really Ethereum or Bitcoin. You got the rip. Now you got a sideways consolidation for the last week. So if you break out over here, you're going to really need to break about 75 cents to get this thing going. That's probably where I'd get interested in this thing. Usually what I'll do is like I'll add an alert around that area. So if it kind of gets into it, then what I can do is I'll put an alert, and that way I can. Whoa. Man, what the fuck was that? Yeah. Man, I got my surround sound speakers on. That was wild. Man, I got a lot of different alerts going. Get rid of some of these bad boys. All right, cool. ZRX. I know a lot of people have been asked about ZRX. The entry on ZRX was a few days ago. I do like ZRX, but I do think that this one in particular is going to be a little bit long in the tooth. So I think that's where it's going to go. And yeah, the Ripple's okay. There's just, I think, you know, ADA and some of these other little penny cryptos, Batcoin, they just have hotter charts. Yeah, all the charts look really the same. You know, all the charts really look fairly similar. So let me see a couple people, Juan and Aunt on Binance. I got you, Cornholio. Yeah, this one does have a lot of momentum. I keep an eye on this. Like in this particular one, you know, you may want to let this thing kind of marinate for a little bit and set up. It's going to be... This one just needs to kind of marinate around a little bit. It's definitely got the momentum, but like I would have tried, you know, obviously if you hit this thing over here, it would have been a lot easier. So now you got to wait for a secondary pattern. So let this thing kind of marinate a little bit. You know, you may see it come and break out of this trend line. And if it does, you may take a quick day trade in this thing, probably back up to these highs for a quick day trade. But if you want a longer trade, then you're going to have to let it kind of shake and bake a little bit more. ONT. Ooh, so ONT is pretty nice. So this one obviously went on this monster run, right? So you went from 0.4 to 7s. Man, you had a nice, right? Some really nice patterns on this thing. Hot damn, right? So this thing had some real nice juice in terms of momentum. Let's see. Now, what's happening is like you can, whoa. So now what you can see, like after this flag pattern, you got this big rip. After your first two flags, you need deeper consolidation. So like this thing, like as this thing starts, figure out where it's starting to base. And then, you know, as it starts to kind of percolate and come out, you know, you'll have a deeper idea of what's going. So right now it's really healthy. And as long as it kind of hangs out here at this 5 spot, you know, over the next, you know, week or two, you may see this thing kind of come back and front and start filling and then go, you know, and that'll be kind of your ideal type of spot. So this looks actually really good. I'm going to stick this on my list too. Cornholio, good eye, I may say. Good eye, good eye, my friend, good eye. So and there are a lot of us. So this is like some of the altcoins I just been watching. You know, MCO is kind of one that I've been, you know, really hunting for a long time. You can see Stratus might be some. Stratus looks like it's bottomed. You know, IOTA's got a nice. If anybody can trade IOTA, if it comes out of this range right here, you know, you should get a run into the 2s. So that's definitely probably something to keep an eye on. This cloak had some crazy pump in the morning, but then now it's kind of faded back. Let me see where MCO is a hoe. Yeah, this one's kind of stuck too. I think there's some cleaner ones out there. Yeah. Stratus. Yeah, on Binance. I'm sorry. Yes, this one is nice too. This one, definitely, I wouldn't just chase up here. Let it come back down a little bit or kind of re-break back. But you can see you've got a longer term bottoming pattern on this thing. And now you're really starting to break. So I think that's a good one to keep an eye on. Like that looks nice and spicy. That's percolating right there. I think this one's probably a little bit more coiled up, meaning it's got a little bit more explosion in it. So to really have a key breakout, you need multiple tests of resistance, right? So you hit this level, and then you hit this level, then you hit this level, then you hit this level, and right, so on and so forth. So you've really got that's pretty nice. I'm not even familiar with this coin before, but it is a nice looking one. I'm gonna add that to my list too. Appreciate it. Appreciate the idea. No SGV for me. SGV is always a ho, but Earl, this one looks ready to go kind of now. Right? Task. I'd probably keep my stop under this 9 EMA on the daily here and let this thing kind of loop up. Woo! That's nice looking. She's nice looking. Yes, I watch XGV, but I would be surprised if it ever. So this is how it kind of works, Llewellyn. Before news comes out, things always run, right? It's the anticipation of the news. But once news is out, it's already been running. This happens in stocks too. Once the news already comes out that everybody was already expecting, there's more of a sell the news kind of thing that happens here. So the run on this is probably over. Like you may get a bounce here and stuff just because the general market is bouncing. But the run was this kind of 3 to 12, right? It was up 400%. So you had the run that you were looking for. Yeah, it's a buy the rumor, sell the news. Exactly, Pi guys. So guys, this is really, this is exciting because we've been waiting for the markets to bottom out for a little bit. And look, we don't know if this is the bottom. How bottoms work in markets is bottoms are never an event. They're a process, meaning that when you're bottoming, there are going to be ebbs and flows to the market where everything will look really good and people will be really excited. And then you'll get just a smack down. And then everybody will be like, fuck, here comes the bear market. And I've already done that a couple times in the last 2 weeks, right? We're like, fuck, here comes the bear market. Then you spike down and it gets bought up, right? And that dip gets supported. And that's how bottoms work. They're never an event where they come in a V, where you're just coming down and down for months and then you just V back up, right? It's more of a process. There's an ebb and flow to it. And so be patient with it. Don't chase up too high and then watch those spikes down to support. When they get supported, that's a bullish sign that, bulls are stepping in to the market, and that's your sign of a bottoming process, right? Not an event. And so the market right now has been really healthy. It's important to not get too much FOMO, like you missed the bottom or something like that. If the market starts to trend, you will have opportunities every single day, right? When the market's trending, there are dozens of coins exploding every single day. And so what you've got to really be doing when you look at this stuff is just understand that, there'll be an ebb and flow to it. Don't go around chasing everything. Make sure you get really good entries. And we've been waiting a long time, right? We've been waiting a good couple months to make some real money. And so that opportunities are here selectively. So you want to be patiently aggressive, right? Meaning don't chase. You wait for that hot setup, and then you want to make sure that you hit those things like a man of honor, right? And get into them. That's going to be really important. Yeah, let me take a look at this ENG for you over here, my friend. Oh, yeah. And guys, you know, it's time to start making some money, right? It's time to start making some money. So that's going to be just now you got to come in and get it, right? And so this one looks actually pretty good. You know, you're about to break out over here a little bit. You got your 9 EMA right up under it. So you're going to risk about that 0.3. It's about 8, 10%, give or take risk to kind of get this thing, back in. But it's a bottoming pattern for sure. And it's a good look too. So, I would not be too scared of that one. Overall, it's looking pretty good. So, guys, I've got to make a run. But like I was telling you guys, be good, be safe. If you guys ever want to come in, we've got a good group of people in our chat room you can come and hang out with on the Bulls on Crypto Street. And, you can always email me if you've got any questions. I'm just typing in my email. And, you guys hit me up anytime you guys want to just chit-chat about stocks. If I missed one of your questions, by the way, it's most likely I just didn't see it. When you're doing the Google Hangouts, you can only see myself. I can't see actually all the questions. I've got to look at another monitor to see them. So if I missed it, my apologies. Just email me, or you can always text me 517-974-1480, and I'll get back to you when I get back to you. It's a beautiful day. I'm about to go hit up the beach. I got a little beach bar I live right next to, pumping a hose. So I'm gonna go get some beers and go hang out with some friends. Remember, don't spend your whole life sitting in front of the computer. Men of honor aren't made in front of the computer, right? They're out living in the world, making moves. A keyboard jockey doesn't run the world, right? Real men do. So let's go out and do what we do. Have some fun, guys. Peace. It's summertime.